I'm so happy that you found me. My name is Patricia, or Star, and this video will be about stone and crystal basics in ASMR soft-spoken style. The goal for this video is to share with you different ways to work with a crystal, and if you aren't into rocks and stones, I hope that you can enjoy it as a nice, relaxing video to help you settle down at the end of the day. So, I'm going to start out with my intention. I'm going to light this candle. I prefer to do it this way because a lot of the time lighters or matches stress me out a little bit. They take me out of the experience. So I have my own candle lit to the side that I've started out with my own intention, and this intention will share. So it's for the highest and greatest good for you, for your enjoyment, your relaxation, and your knowledge, and to help you a little bit along the way of your path. So we'll have this here. So, you got a crystal. That's really exciting. Now what do you do with it? I'll go over ways that I prefer to cleanse the stone. That's the first thing I would do if I have a brand new crystal. Cleansing is needed because stones have an enormous capacity to hold information. In some of the testing that they've done, they figured out that they could store terabytes of information on an emerald. They have perfect periodicity at the atomic level. So they're stacked perfectly, atoms. And because of this, that's just the right arrangement to be able to perfectly store information. And they have a wealth of it. They have a record of millions of years ago when they were forming, and every moment since along the way. So just in case that crystal came across anything that's not harmonious with you, that's energy that's misplaced or maybe belongs somewhere else, we like to send that back where it came from, back into the earth to be recycled and composted and made fresh and new. So cleansing is the best way to do that. For me, I believe that the best way to cleanse a crystal is to bury it. This puts it back into the earth where it came from. The earth's energy is the best tool for removing things that don't belong for humans too, and recycling it back to new. I'm hoping that the air coming on isn't prohibitive, and that it'll maybe add to the sound of the ambiance. So, if you can't bury your crystal outside, there's ways around that as well. You can get a grounding mat. They sell them all over the place if you just look up grounding mat, and I can put a link below. And you can just place them on the mat inside your house. You can also put them on concrete outside, or any material that is conductive to earth energy. So natural materials like stone, wood, leather, things like that, cotton. So you can even just place them on the grass outside, or if you would like to designate a special area for them outside, that would be ideal. Now, if you're not able to do that, if you live in an apartment, the grounding mat is a great option. I wouldn't recommend putting them in pots because that's once again disconnected from the circuit of the earth. So you really want it plugged into that circuit if at all possible. The next way that I would recommend, that's just as effective almost in a very different way, is sound. So there are lots and lots of tools that you can use for sound cleaning. And sound works by just emitting a pure frequency that travels all the way through the stone. And it works by a principle called entrainment, and it will begin to resonate with the sound, and it harmonizes the energy within the stone. So it really works beautifully, and it's very easy to do. So I have here with me a couple of my favorite sound tools to share with you. The first is a singing bowl, and I know lots of you are familiar with these, so I don't need to give a demonstration on it, but it's a great, beautiful frequency that you can just hold right next to your stone. And allow that tone to pass through the crystal, which will cleanse and clear it. There's also tuning forks, which are one of my favorite. This one's at 432 hertz, which I believe is supposed to be the best one for crystals. But it works in a very similar way. You just pass it around the stone, allowing that tone to move through. All of these tools work brilliantly on the body as well, because as above, so below. We're not that dissimilar. Also have this beautiful bell. This was made by Native House Ceramic Company. As you can see, it's very special. And just one note around the crystal will also clean it. There's also the rattle. I made this rattle myself using a little miniature cord and actually a stick I found in my yard. And I set a little stone here. And you can just gently rattle around the crystal. The rattle works a little bit differently, especially this one, because I have tiny pieces of quartz inside it. And the quartz, when it bumps up against each other, it has what's called triboluminescence. And that means that it creates sparks of light. And these sparks of light I like to view as clearing anything dark or dense and transmuting it with the light. You can also imagine it breaking up stagnation or anything dense or heavy. Just little pieces breaking up any accumulations that are no longer beneficial, that are no longer serving. This is another favorite rattle I have. I bought this on Etsy, and it has such a sweet, gentle sound. I really like the ones that are gentle, not too loud or jarring. These are really, really nice for working close to the body. Working close to the crystal. And my favorite tool of all time is a Peruvian shell instrument. This instrument is by a company called Flute, and it was made in Peru. And I just think that it has the most beautiful sound I've ever heard. A lot of ASM artists have gotten on this train, so this is probably not new, but I couldn't leave it out. These are made from little seed pods, and the sound is so gorgeous. the crystal. So that's my favorite. There are so many other tools as well. I have a beautiful set of chimes. I'm sure I'll use at some point. And you can drum. And even if you don't have any of these tools, you can make a rattle pretty easily. Just putting some pebbles in a container or finding any sort of piece of metal that might make a nice sound like a tuning fork. So you don't have to spend a lot of money. The seed rattle was only about $12. So there's tons of options. This is only scratching the surface. So it really is about what resonates with you. So after you've gotten your crystal cleansed, and you'll just know by your intuition when it's done. You can tell. A lot of people talk about charging crystals. This isn't something that I really do. I believe that they are perfect as they are. There isn't really an energy that you could apply to them that would be more powerful than their own inherent energy, other than just pure chi. So there are some crystals that most crystals naturally exude chi or prana or whatever you'd like to call it, source energy, 0 point energy, scalar energy, and so there's not a lot you can do that's really going to affect a crystal in that way. Lots of people like to put them outside in the moonlight to charge them. They're great to capture the energy of the moon if you would like to work with that at some point. But I don't really do charging in the traditional ways. They all love the sunlight, but again, they came from the earth, and other than putting them back there for a little bit, which by the way would be overnight. I would bury them overnight for 1 to 3 nights, depending on how long you've worked with it or how long it might need. If it's been a long time, I would recommend doing that at least weekly for your crystals. Daily if you're working with them on other people or you have a practice or they're doing a lot of heavy lifting. So yeah, I don't really charge them. That's just my personal opinion. So if that's something that resonates with you, by all means. A key thing to mention is that your experience with crystals is the most important. it's more important than what you read in a book. It's more important than what your teacher or mentor or me or anyone tells you. So that experience trumps all of it. And every person's experience is unique and incredibly important. So I would encourage you to put down the crystal Bible, put down the crystal books, and work with it yourself to see what you get. It's really about dialing into a sensitivity level that we're all capable of. It's just takes a little bit of practice. So even if it doesn't seem to do anything right at first, just keep at it, and I promise that it eventually will. It didn't for me at first either. So the next couple of steps are things I like to do to get to know my crystals a little bit better. So probably my favorite way is to sleep with it. You might put it underneath your pillow and see how it affects your dreams and your sleep. You might hold it in your hand as you're going to sleep, or you might just have it beside you and pay attention to your dreams, to how you wake up feeling in the morning, to when you're in this sort of in-between state of falling asleep and being awake, how that crystal might speak to you, how it might make you feel, how it might bring in the energy of certain guides or just specific energies in and of themselves, like the moon. So sleep definitely is my favorite way to work with crystals. You can also imagine yourself shrunk down teeny tiny and inside the actual crystal itself. Imagine yourself surrounded by the crystal's energy and really just allow yourself to sort of enmesh with that frequency and adjust your own body's vibration to match with that. And that will be such a beautiful and enlightening experience. That's also one of my favorite ways to work with crystals. You can learn so much about the energy that it brings, the different rays it brings into this reality, and all of the different properties that its energy sort of helps to facilitate. So I really love that one. Another obvious way to work with crystals is to wear it. Get yourself a pendant. This is one of my favorites. It's called Purple Haze Sunstone from Tanzania, and it's one of the most remarkable stones I've ever worked with. Just pay attention to your mood over the course of the week. I would recommend wearing it for at least a few days and see how it might help your interactions with other people, how it might help your mood, how it might help your energy levels, your communication, confidence, any of those properties. It's really all about paying attention and dialing in on that sensitivity that we all have. And it's just a matter of practice. So I promise you'll get there. Even if you don't feel anything at first, just keep at it and you will. Another way to work with them, of course, is to meditate with the crystal. So holding it in your hand while you meditate, putting it on the third eye is a great one, or any of the chakras, specifically your heart space. You can put it on your heart and really just going on a journey with that crystal, letting it be the guide of your journey, seeing what information it wants to share, what information it's holding from its whole lifetime on Earth. And it will be so happy that someone wants to know that there will be a lot of information. You could probably work with one crystal for the rest of your life and never be done learning from it. So I like to spend a lot of time with my crystals at a time. Months. I will spend up to 3 or 4 months with every crystal, which takes a long time to get through a whole collection, but it's really worth it. And the depth of knowledge that you get from spending a long time with a crystal far exceeds just grabbing one and holding on to it for a little bit and putting it in your purse and carrying it along with you. It's about spending time and really, really taking the time to get to know it. I promise you won't be disappointed. I haven't been yet. So, meditating is really beautiful. I think that's about all I have for this video. Please, if you have any questions, put them in the comments below, and I'll do my best to make videos around what you would like to hear about and what you would like to learn and what's interesting to you. Also, if you have any crystals in your collection that you don't know what they are, I would be thrilled to death to help you identify them. I will do my best. If you'd like to send me a picture, I'll put my email down below as well, and just let me know. Let me know how I can help you, and you can help me build this channel as well. So I'm so grateful for you. I'm thrilled to be finally making these videos. I've wanted to do it for so long, and Spirit told me it wasn't time yet, so now it's time. And I hope they resonate. I hope they help you along your path, and I'm grateful. So thank you. I love you. Good night.